This year we have something brand new for Red Cross Children's Carnival. We know everybody's talking about going green and thinking about the environment and all of that. Red Cross is no different. Have some kind sponsors that have come on board to give us some prizes, and we're looking at costumes and depictions that promote a green world, a better world, and how to develop that.
Mars, come again. Well, look how the place on fire now. Mars, come again. A spirit to bring the power down.
Well, the European Union has been present in this country for more than 46 years. Historically, in this country, we have been active with disaster risk reduction and other projects for more than 2 decades. We're very proud to work with the Red Cross. It is a Cartier of charitable organizations. It is the Omega of charitable organizations. It brings a lot of goodness together. And with the value added of the technical know-how and knowledge that they have, combined with some of the funding, the grants that we can give, we do achieve a lot together.
The environmental category, climate change, has been part of the Carnival agenda. It's an opportunity to get children and parents and band leaders part of the solution by helping them to understand they can utilize recyclable products. They can they can incorporate the team into creativity.
When you look at the design by Christopher Santos and Gregory Medina, a lot of that beautiful work, when you watch closely, is done by discarded plastic bottles and egg boxes and things that you find at home.
The costume is called Beauty and the Beast.
This is the beauty, the beautiful side. This is the beast inside the garbage.
Coming back to Trinidad, it was like a horror story, seeing how dirty Trinidadians can be. So we decided we'd try and incorporate as much as we could.
So this is what the branches, this is where we use the palm branches. This was the beauty of the beach, right? This was the beauty of the beach. And that is where now we had around the costume, we had the turtles running on the sandy beach. People go by the beaches, they go by the rivers, and they just leave their garbage all over. So we utilize this garbage and we put creatively, cut it up in pieces and a little sparkle here and there and that type of thing.
I started a museum for children some years ago, and it's called Zoom Zoom Museum. And one of the tenets of Zoom Zoom Museum is to teach children about their own creative practice, or let them actually just explore their own creative practice in the context of reusing objects and recycling them, upcycling them, so that they understand the parallels between creativity and using what you have. For 2023, I'm working with a primary school called Holistic Schools, and they're based in Cascade. And what we're doing is we're actually kind of revisiting something from 60 years ago, which is a band by the very famous George Bailey. What we did is we took as much as we could in terms of recycled objects, recycled or reused or actually unused bits and pieces from other carnival bands that went before. Well, this, some glitter fringe, whatever they call it, is something I saw hanging from a tree on Cipriani Boulevard a few days ago, and I decided I needed it for my bats. So to give them a little glitter inside of all the dried palm leaves and so forth. So I got out of my car, I parked to the side of the road, got out of the car, and pulled this thing from the tree. Some workmen were around and they were looking at this woman as if, oh Lord, she's lost it. But no, actually I found it, because I found a great piece of material that I could use, reuse, and just get some lovely movement out of it. This is a sculpture. It's a mobile sculpture that was made by Parker Nicholas, who's a found object artist, a very prominent found object artist in Trinidad and Tobago. And what I'd asked him to do, I brought him all the bottles, etc., and old CDs, to create a little space where the child could run through. It could almost be like a kind of forest. So since it's a mobile and it's outside and it sort of moves with the wind, what happens is they dart in and out of it. and they have a ball actually. Children have to be taught to care. Once you teach a child, I think there's a kind of a way in which they grow up into the adult who will do the same thing because they have been taught when they were young. We have to make them care about the environment because there is a certain level of toxicity that they will be exposed to if they don't care about the environment. Those concepts are very high concepts for children, so it is about the adult instilling in the child a kind of habit of reusing or even not using certain things to begin with.
Well, what children can do for you in reusing their costume, the first thing they have to do, I think, is look at their costume and try and figure out, when I'm finished with this, I'm going to try and do something with this part of it, that part of it.
You can make a wall hanging. Depending on the fabric and the material that you can make a bedspread, depending if it's a lot of cloth in the original costume. You can make a skirt.
It's important to see what is around, what can be reused then and recycled, reconditioned.
But children are enormously receptive to positive and good messages and to reason, to arguments. And they will often react in a quicker way than people of an older generation who may have habits. They don't have necessarily the bad habits of the older generations. So I'm very pleased to say that children have passed messages about the recycling of plastics, not to throw things away, to reuse, to make, do and mend. Children are very receptive to those messages, and children, we shouldn't inhibit their creativity or their ability themselves to innovate and to try and do things in a better way. They don't have our bad habits, so why don't we give them good habits?